So without further ado, I think that having met but not know the people on our panel terribly well, but I do know that you've each got into history of art and are each taking it in a very different direction, all completely individually, and perhaps, you know, it's not obvious to spot. So let me start with the newest Christie's employee. That's you, I think. Who's working, I believe, in the Victorian. So tell us how you came to meet Rose and be part of this journey.
I actually don't remember. I really only remember applying. I think my art teacher kind of gave me a leaflet about Art History Link Up and said, you might be interested in this. And then I applied. And yeah, through Art History Link Up, then I found out about Christie's and the apprenticeships. And then I applied for apprenticeship and finished that. And now I've got a job as a sale coordinator for the works that you're seeing around here for next year. So really amazing. I don't know what I would have done without Art History Link Up, honestly. So many things have opened up because of it. And I've learned so much from it. I really appreciate Rose and everything she's done, yeah.
Thank you. And Remy, tell us your journey.
Yeah, so I hadn't really considered art history as a subject or a discipline that was even possible to go into because it wasn't really widely publicized or known about in the school that I'd gone to. But I came across an advert of Art History Link Up, and I thought I'd sign up. And honestly, I have no regrets. It was probably my favorite A-level, and I'm currently studying classics, but I'm going in a classical art and archaeology route, and I'm doing a roundabout route to study art history, hopefully as a master's. And yeah, Saturday was so enjoyable. It was an environment where everyone wanted to be there, everyone wanted to learn, so it was very conducive to learning and to actively engaging with art and seeing how relevant it is to so many disciplines, really. And yeah, I have no regrets. It's so good. And yeah.
And would you, if somebody said to your 12-year-old self, this is what you're going to be doing now, what would you have said back to them?
Oh, I would have just laughed, to be honest. Yeah, I never would have expected to be in galleries so often. But yeah, they've now become my home, second home, really. Yeah.
Would you agree with that? Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I think I had a similar story to Remy in the way that I kind of stumbled across Art History Link Up, and from the first session, I was just completely fell in love with art history. I mean, I always had an interest in arts, but I think that going from that first session onwards, I just realizing that it was an academic discipline that I could actually follow and put all my passion and energy into was just amazing. Yeah.
And you've done something which quite a lot of people couldn't claim to do, which you brought Ai Weiwei to Oxford, I understand, which is pretty impressive. Just tell us quickly how you persuaded him and what happened.
Well, I think I kind of took Rose's initiative on that. Yeah, I mean, I'm the events coordinator, so I kind of just lots and lots of emails, really, just lots of pestering.
And how are you going to follow up on that one?
Oh gosh. We had Cornelia Parker.
That's quite cool. Too,
last term, which was really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got a good lineup for next term. We've got to keep an eye out.
All right, just be on your guard. Right, and you've had a rotten term, but I'm assuming that's not to do with art history.
No, that was the highlight of my term, the art history. No, it's been a very good term. I mean, I guess my story is quite similar to everyone on the panel. I stumbled across Art History Link Up by chance. I saw it on a friend's Instagram story, and I thought, what on earth are you doing in a lecture hall on a Saturday morning? And since then, I signed up, and it really has been the love of my life. At university as well, it's getting me through the essays.
And are you actually studying art history, or are you?
Yeah, so I'm doing English architecture now at university. And funnily enough, the other day I was looking through my A-level notes, comparing what I've written then to what I'm studying now. It's been a nice full circle moment.
So do you think you'll end up in architecture, or do you think or have you not decided a career path this moment?
Maybe not in architecture. I think it'll always be something that I, on the side that I love. It's always something that, if I see an art gallery, I'll walk into it or I'll strike a conversation up about it. And it's definitely going to remain a passion forever, I think.
Yeah. No, it is. It's an amazing thing, isn't it? Wherever you are in the world, practically, not everywhere, but there is always something to go and see and something to learn about, isn't it? It's the kind of fast track into being in a new city. Right, Rose. No, not you. Sorry, I can't see through you. I was going to say, can you sit back? Can I hear about your journey? Forgive me, I've got very bad memories. I can't remember everyone's names. It's just saying you.
Yeah. So, yes, much like everyone else, I came to Art History Link Up completely by chance. I had a friend who studied with you, and she told me about it, and I said, oh, that sounds amazing, because I went to a performing and creative arts school, so I studied design, and of course we had sort of a very traditional module, which was, history of, it was called context of design or something like that, but I thought, oh, I really want to engage with that in a more serious way, so I thought, that's perfect, I really want to do it. And yeah, all the good things in my life pretty much have happened because someone has told me about it, and I said, okay, heck, I'll give it a try. Yeah, so that's how I stumbled upon Rose and Art History Link Up.
So there wasn't a particular work of art that you could say now, God, that was the thing that lit the torch? It was more Rose, which is a work of art in her own right, as we know. But
I think I seriously can't think about that way back, but some of the things that have really affected me, I think, when I was 16, 15, I went to St. Petersburg and I went to the Hermitage, and there was this sculpture which was sort of modeled after the Pietà, and it was sort of a serf with his daughter, and and I just stood there, and I wept in front of it in the Hermitage. Like, it was completely pitch black, there was no one in there, but I think that seriously has been one of the things that have, I think art is amazing how much, how personally it can resonate with you. Yeah.
Lovely story. Is there a particular work of art that resonates with your neighbour as well? No.
Absolutely. The piece of art that made me fall in love with art history was probably the Wilton diptych in the Sainsbury's wing at the National Gallery. And I remember seeing the piece for the first time and almost feeling glued to the ground, which is quite a remarkable experience.
How old were you at the time? Do you remember?
I was 15. But from where I'm from in the southwest, most people are discouraged from pursuing education and pursuing art in general because it's seen as something that is not valuable. And I am the only one out of all my friends at home that have gone to university. And Art History Link Up, I found on an Instagram link, it has completely changed the trajectory of my life. And it's a cheesy thing to say, but it's so very true. With Rose as our wonderful, wonderful backer. I cannot put into words just how valuable this charity was for me. It has meant that someone with very little prospects in life as me, who I might have done, has been able to throw myself at the world. And now I study at the Courtauld, and I would not have done that had I not had these Saturday classes thrown in my direction by accident, almost.
That's amazing. And when you go home, do you feel a need to kind of to spread the word, or are you still quite private and quiet about your experience?
Absolutely. My old A-level, I went to college for my A-levels. I have gone in and spoken to students since I've been gone. On the, so my teacher has asked me to advocate for Art History Link Up, and a couple of other people that I've worked with. And I hope in time that someone will take that up because it is a magical experience.
Oh. I think people in this room might want to think we can enroll too at this rate. But can I ask you, did you, like your neighbour, have a particular work of art, or was it an unexpected role for you going into art history?
I had quite a particular work of art, which was our first session, and my cohort did it completely online in the first year. And we did Double-Headed Serpent in the British Museum. And as you can see people nodding, it was quite a transformative work for many of us, I think, because it just showed how wide the breadth of art history is. It's not just the typical paintings you think of. It is so many things. And not to repeat what everybody's been saying, but exactly the same. I took art history on a whim. I stumbled across it and I applied but it's really changed my life. And it's amazing that so many of us have had the same experience, which just speaks to Art History Link Up as a charity and as an organisation.
And tell me how you think it might in your future life. I mean, are you planning a career in this area? Is it going to be your hobby? What do you reckon?
I followed in Simone's footsteps and I applied for an apprenticeship here at Christie's, which I'm very happy to say I'm now doing. I'm in the Antiquities department, which is very exciting, getting to sort of handle the objects, but also see the behind the scenes of sale and that aspect of art history, which is so important. And what I love about Christie's is they make art accessible. Anybody can walk through the door and come and see amazing museum quality paintings by some of the top artists. And it's always changing as well. Every few weeks there's something new on display, like books. And I came in once and there were Islamic carpets. And I just never thought of that as art history. And I had a repeat of the moment with Double-Headed Serpent, where I was like, art history is so much more than I thought. It's constantly growing into this massive amoeba of just so many different kinds of things. Everything is art history. You can apply it to anything.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I'd absolutely agree that art history is like a part of everything, and yeah, I think that's why I was so intrigued, because like art history itself, I was kind of just like, I had a history teacher who was like, you'd love this, go for it. And so I said, yeah, sure. Again, like everybody else, I had no idea what I was going into. And yeah, I think I was interested in social justice issues and things like that, and it's been really enlightening to see how much like visual culture plays a part in protest and activism and things like that, and it's so vital and important, and it's been so helpful that I have the skills and the ability to like read into it and also use it and apply it, especially because I'm studying history and politics, and it's always nice to be the one person who just puts a little image in their essay to just, you know, flex my art history skills. And yeah, it's been fascinating and intriguing, and I'm sure I'm going to take on everything I've learned with me for the rest of my life and career.
One or two of you said that you wanted to use your study of art history in the area of social justice, and it's not necessarily something I think that we associate with studying the history of art. And I'd love to hear maybe first from you about how will you use the study of art in social justice?
I think the way that social justice movements, especially now because so much is circulated via social media, and how they use the visual language to capture people and convey messages. And so I think being able to figure out how people relate to things like that not in like a more modern historical context. And also I think in like other more abstract forms, like I'm really interested in sustainable fashion and how like fashion is a part of art history and how it has changed so much and how we're now at like a breaking point and we kind of need to address the way that all forms of art are contributing to the climate crisis and how we need to like reconfigure the way that we approach the value of certain things and whether or not we can suit them to aid a sustainable way of life, I guess.
So beyond glue, you're not going to glue yourself to any of the masterpieces in this room, though?
Maybe.
Okay, we're going to move on swiftly from that question. But David's going to get very nervous. He's already gone. He's already gone. Look, it's incredible talking to all of you. And it really is an absolute inspiration. And I'm not going to hog you much longer because I think that Rose and various other people have got things to add to this conversation.